because he always used to act when defending.
I think it's like.
Am I live? Of course we're live. People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. Good evening to those of you like myself over here in the United Kingdom. Don't feel left out. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night wherever else you guys are placed. First things first, hope you're all having a good week. Hope you've all got your health in all denominations of the word. Obviously, you know, the next elephant in the room, Flawless, will be here. You know, he's not going to do me dirty. I sent him the link a bit late. I suppose he's fixing himself up. He's getting himself pretty for you guys, people. Don't worry, the guy will be here. And obviously, we'll be speaking Man United versus Arsenal. I'm not going to lie, it's going to be a slightly shorter stream just because I've got an Everton live stream to worry about as well, people. And within that, I actually need to go make some dinner and all of them thing there and do a couple of life admins. As you can see, I'm having a problem with my green screen. So I need to go and fix that for the next stream. But it is what it is, man. You know, I appreciate everybody tuned in, whether you're here for the first time or you're always supporting the grind. You lot clearly, you know, we have a laugh and a joke, but you're fans of the game first. So I'll keep you entertained until obviously things happen. Appreciate that, my guy. You know, again, I think people misunderstood my tweet. You know, he's been dead for a while. You know, RIP my granddad and that, but he's been dead for a while. It was just, you know, this is his anniversary of the death. Really, December's not really the happiest of months for me, but I appreciate that, my guy, and I appreciate anyone else who said the same thing. One love for that. So yeah, as I said, I'm gonna keep you lot entertained until Flawless turns up, which he will. You know, I sent him the link late. So yeah, what are you guys saying, people? Make sure you're following and subscribing. Get any talking points you've got that are related to the game or any questions you specifically want to ask Flawless. Obviously, when he's here, I'm going to ask him kind of the same questions. In fact, what else can I ask him differently? Then obviously, big up Aaron and Statman. Make sure you're following them on their platforms. Make sure you're following Flawless on all of his stuff as well, Sarcasm City and all them things. But I'm gonna obviously ask him about the game. Gonna ask him what he actually makes of Arsenal. You know, banter aside from a neutral's perspective. Obviously, you know, he's a Man United fan. You've got Ralf Rangnick. There's all shoulda, woulda, coulda. He's gonna do this and that and the other, and it's a fantastic talking point. So I'm gonna press him on pause on stuff around that. His expectations of what is left or what can be salvaged from Manchester United season, and what does he obviously expect tactically from Ralf Rangnick and whatnot. Obviously, I want to ask him as well, if there, and you look, feel free to answer, is there any positives regarding Man United? Because if I speak to all my brethren and people in my circle and whatnot, and anyone in general, it's easy to sit here and talk about the good, the bad stuff. Is there any positives? I'm not saying find positives where there isn't necessarily. I'm just saying, is there? Excluding obviously a new manager coming in. And obviously, I want to ask him, and you lot, again, United fans, feel any sort of way to answer in that. I want to know what players have struggled initially, what players have done well, which, you know, potentially even unpopular opinions. Is there a player where, you know, the whole rhetoric around him is he's not playing good, he's not excelling, he's not doing nothing. But actual fact, if you're sitting there and watching him, he's actually doing all right. But because people have made their beds, you know, it is what it is. So, yeah, man. Obviously, that's what I'm going to ask you. I'll actually as well, where does he stand and where do you guys stand as well? If you stand anywhere on the whole pressing shenanigans with Cristiano Ronaldo, can he do it? Can he not do it? Sort of thing. Man said easy win for United. You know, I hope so for your sake, or we're running some agendas and things like that. I can't cap. But yeah, one love to you lot that are tuned in, man. Twitch doing me dirty with ads. Wait till payday. Aye, man, support the channel, man. You know, support the channel. So I'm nice to you lot. I only dropped the 30-second ones and whatnot. I think Flawless is here. Is he here? What you saying, bro?
Yes, G. I'll be on in a sec. You good though?
Minor, man. Fix yourself up. Do what you're doing, man. Appreciate you for tuning in, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, man. I'll be on shortly. Yeah, give me 2 minutes.
Yeah, man. Do your thing. Do your thing. So yeah, he's patterning himself and getting ready, people. He's here, as you can see. As I said, I'll keep you lot entertained before obviously I can pick his brains about Man United and the whole reason we're here, because I can't talk on Man United. I'm not a fan. We're here, we're live. Come on, my guy. I reckon 0-0, Man United fan here. I can't lie. You know, obviously the way United are looking, of course, as an Arsenal fan, I would like us to go and win. I don't think we've ever had a bigger chance of winning at Old Trafford. As you know, our record there is a shambles of recent years. We'd have won the league at your ground. Calm it down. I had to. But on a serious note, winning there last year was the first in 17 years. You know, if you're an Arsenal fan of 17 years of age, that was the first win at Old Trafford in your lifetime. So there's never been a better time to maybe get a second one and exploit that. But I'm also scared because obviously there's the managerial bounce. Ralf Rangnick's there, couple man that couldn't get opportunities under Oli are going to get some. People that maybe were always going to play under Oli, that's not there. And again, you know, I look at Michael Carrick. Obviously, he's managed 2 games. It will be the third, I assume, against us. Not really the biggest of, what's the word, like sample pool to know what he is tactically. But I think there's, off the Chelsea game, I didn't read too much into the Villarreal one, but off the Chelsea game, there's a lot that concerns me as an Arsenal fan, you know, especially because you look at the mistake Jorginho made. Chelsea play a high line. Fair enough, it was a corner. But, you know, if you switch off, United are the sort of team that can take advantage. I feel there's a lot of similarities between the teams in that neither team play well for 90 minutes. I know our defense is probably better than theirs, but we've got cheap mistakes. They've got cheap mistakes. Theirs are highlighted more because they've conceded 20 plus. I think it's not a game to really, you know, if you go on the whole noise, I call it, surrounding both clubs, you know, obviously you probably wouldn't give United a chance, but cliche form goes out the window. It's Thursday evening. It's at Old Trafford. I ain't really seen my team do too much bits in front of against a top 6 side. You can say Spurs if you want. I think a point. Listen, obviously, both teams want to win. There's banter, there's corn to fly between both fans and whatnot. But a point to live another day. You know, it's for Arsenal. I don't know who United have next, but for us, it's techie because we've got, in no order, I'm sure you got West Ham. They're fighting for this full Royal Rumble thing. United are obviously doing it. Who are playing tomorrow? Form or not, Everton again. Again, on that topic of Everton versus Liverpool, people, head over to YouTube, 7:45. I'm going to do a watch along for that. Hope it lives up because I think it's a pretty overrated Merseyside derby. I think it's one of the most overrated derbies in the Premier League. I can't lie, to be fair with you. It is what it is, people. So yeah, man. I don't think form matters, but it's an issue, and for me, it all depends. You know, Man United's a big pitch, and how do the players play against that? And it's definitely a more closer game than everybody is giving credit for, man. If I'm honest with you, my guys here. So yeah, man. Obviously, you've probably heard I was offering my 2 pence about United.
Yeah, where did you from? Yeah. I heard you
get
taking shots talking about you won the league at our ground and that.
Hey, man, we ain't got many guns. We ain't got many bullets, bro. We got to fling them where we can, fam. We ain't got much, bro. I've seen my team get banged 8-2 and that.
I hear you.
I have to send corn where I can, man. I have to. We saying, though, you good?
Yeah, man, I'm blessed, yo. First, thanks for having me, man. Much appreciated. You know what I'm saying?
Guy, man. It's been something that I've needed to get done for a while. You probably know, I'm subscribed. I watch your stuff. I listen to your chat. Obviously, you love taking digs at my club, but you're a cool guy, man. Like, you know your thing. But I wanted to obviously throughout this just pick your brains about Man United and whatnot. I've got a couple questions. The first thing I want to kick off with, bro. Ralf Rangnick's appointment. As a United fan, what's your opinion? I'm sure you've done your research. You know your little bits and bobs about him. You know what's gonna happen. Talk me
through.
Had to,
innit? Like absolutely gassed in it. Like I was over the moon with his appointment, and not so much him as interim. People are getting him mistaken because I see rivals, and you're gonna run jokes and run bants, but people are taking shots about him as a manager. Am I gassed about him coming in as the manager? Yes. What I'm more gassed about is him going upstairs afterwards, because reports is when United first approached him, he rejected us. And then he said, not only do I want to come in for 6 months, then I want to go upstairs for 2 years in a consultancy role and have an impact there, because that's what we need. Because the talent, Manchester United, it's not a talent issue. Is there deficiencies in the squad? Yes. But how you look at our squad and go, it's absolutely awful to me. It's criminal. Is it unbalanced? Yes. Is it ready to topple at Chelsea, at Manchester City? No. But is it good? I always say this all the time. Is it good enough to compete? Yes. It's 110% good enough to compete and get better performances and better results than it has been. So reason why I'm gassed about Rangnick coming in, because not only is he coming into the squad and he'll be able to assess it for the next manager as well, he'll put building blocks in place. You know what I'm saying? Certain things in training, certain things in training, certain things in matches. And then he can tell the next manager, all right, this player is good at this. This player is not so good at this. I think you should get rid of this player. All these little small things.
With no emotions around
the details,
it as well.
And he's not emotionally attached. Coach Cam said that. The reason why he didn't want a Brendan, big up to Coach Cams. The reason why he didn't want a Brendan Rodgers come in is because he'd come in and it's like it's a dream job. You know what I'm saying? And Ollie's kind of like that, whereas Rangnick just sees it as he rejected us, which is what I like.
Sort of
German efficiency. Tuchel's a prime example of that. No emotion behind it. Come in and do it as a job. So yeah, I'm aghast, absolutely. And I expect to see a bounce anyway, because the place was toxic under Oli. Players were unhappy. Everybody was low on confidence. There's reports of in-house fighting. You see De Gea punching the tunnel. I think it was after the City game. Even in interviews, your club captain's coming out, who's your guy. He's your £80 million signing, saying we lack belief in the Manchester derby. Like, yes, City are better, but you should still put up a fight. And Maguire's saying
shouldn't be said. Yeah,
exactly. Maguire's like he's representation of the manager. And that shows that I believe Oli lacked belief as well against City. We didn't try to win that game, and it wasn't even an attempt at a game plan. And that's what bothered me the most. We weren't even trying to win games. At least set up and go, all right,
freestyling everything.
As Saeed said, freestyle football. And he said that years ago, but he's 110% spot on. 110% spot on. So yeah, I'm gassed about Rangnick. I'm with it. Whatever Rangnick, give him the keys to the kingdom. Whatever he wants to do, I'm for it. I'm with it.
I mean, as you said there, I think all United have needed is a competency. It's looked like you've signed individuals. There hasn't necessarily been a system. And I'm not going to sit here and say I know what Ralf Rangnick's system is, but he strikes me as someone with one, and then players will tie in and the talent ID will center around it. You'll see less square pegs in round holes. Generally, though, it doesn't concern you. Obviously, it wouldn't concern me, but if it's like, I look at it, he's probably the only man that somewhat knows football. Would it concern you, him being in a lot of power and him not necessarily being challenged, or anyone kind of being on his level in terms of footballing? Because obviously no man's without faults and mistakes.
Yeah, no man's without faults, but I think he's smart enough to bring in the people around him, because he did try and bring his assistant, but his assistant took over, I believe, his job at Lokomotiv Moscow. But he will bring people in, because the fact that he tried, I like, again, we're talking about attempting things. He's like, I'm going to bring in my assistant. He will bring in a number 2. He will put bits in place, because you don't have his level of success structuring football clubs without people around you. It's not a one-man job. And even if, and to tell you the truth, even if it is just him, I'm all for it. I've said this, in Ralf, I trust in it. Yeah, I'm like, whatever he wants to do, I'm with it. Like, I heard us get linked with Timo Werner. Do I believe it's true? No. But if exactly, that's what I'm saying. You almost choked on your teeth.
I heard that. I mean, I would trust Ralf, but
that's what I'm saying. And I've said that there's certain things that he might do that I don't agree with. However, I'm all for it. Fergie was like that, and I'm old enough to remember the majority of Fergie's years. There was times where he played certain players or play certain formations or sell players or buy players, and I'm like, it would work. So I'm treating Ralf the same way, because it's been so bad. Because I've been so against Oli and everything he stood for. Now there's a man who's in charge who I trust your decision, even when I disagree with it. So I'm going to give him a clean slate and a chance.
Philosophy and that,
I'm going to trust your philosophy, because you have history. People he has a CV of doing these things. And again, people, not as a manager, I'm talking about structuring a football club and being upstairs. I'm all for it.
He was just doing it at Lokomotiv, really. And they got what's his face from Chelsea, you know, that young guy from Chelsea. I can't remember his name. So he clearly has a system. What was I going to say to you regarding Ralf? Again, kind of what you said about he'll bring in his own people. Now, I'm kind of jumping like next year. He's going into his consultancy role. Now, obviously, the players he signed, there's players from Africa, all sorts of Europe. You can't do that alone. He's not everywhere. Do you have faith in people that are around him at United to actually back him properly and bring people in? Because as much as I, as an outsider, think Oli was the problem, I look at people like, Woodward, and it seems like a lot of people leave United, come back in advisory roles, and it just feels like it's a close-knit bunch of nonsense, bro.
It is, and that's what the issue has been. Like I said, was Oli a problem? Yes. Was he the only problem? Absolutely not, because the fact that he was in charge was due to the people upstairs who ain't footballing people. He's now a footballing person. I heard John Murtough played a major part in this, as I heard he went over and visited Rangnick in Germany and was trying to pick his brains and get an idea. So John Murtough deserves credit for that. And I believe, again, Rangnick is smart enough to know what works and what don't. I'm fully aware, and one thing I like as well is Rangnick's working with resources that he's never had before, because he's been on a budget at Salzburg. He was on a budget at Leipzig, whereas you're coming to Manchester United, you're working with you're working basically with not an infinity budget, but it's close to that.
It might as well be that, yeah. Man.
It might as well be like Rangnick would have went to a Salzburg or Leipzig and speaking and went, I want to try and get such and such, and they're like, we don't have the budget.
Yeah, there's no pennies and pounds for that. Yeah,
there's no pennies for that. Whereas at Manchester United, not only is it easy sell because it's Manchester United, the money's there and he's there, because there's already reports Pogba might stay now, which makes sense. It wouldn't surprise me if he's already spoke with Pogba and been like, look, this is the plan while I'm in. this is the next manager, or this is the shortlist, this is the plan short term next season, the long term plan in 3-4 years. And I see Rangnick having a foolproof plan and implementing stuff even when he leaves can still continue, because that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a system.
Succession planning.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
What you mentioned it there, but I kind of, just before I ask you about Pogba, what do you make of Ralf, or what he could do from a purely a tactical point of view? Because we're talking about him being consultancy. He's got 6-7 months, makes that happen on the pitch. What are you expecting to see? What are you hoping to see?
I'm gassed because these players have been coaching themselves. The majority of the results and us finishing second or third or fourth or getting to semi-finals and finals, the players were doing that themselves. I called us individual brilliance FC for the longest. That's the only reason Ollie lasted in the job so long, because especially in our attacking areas, we have so many players who can produce moments at any given time to get you back into a game or win a game. And we've even seen it this season. Ronaldo's come in and scored, I think, in the Champions League. 3 of the 4 goals he scored, or like 90% of the goals he scored.
Even his game against Newcastle, you know, I think he got lost in the drama, but he patterned it for you lot in that game.
This is what I'm saying against Newcastle, a team still now who haven't got a win. You know what I'm saying? I just watched them draw against Norwich yesterday, and we in December, and we've 14 games in, and they still haven't got a win. How many equalizers and winning goals, whether it's Ronaldo, last season it's Bruno, whether it's Rashford, whether it's Greenwood, whether it's Martial, the list goes on and on and on. There's always, and that's what saved him. So the fact they now have a form, they'll have a plan, because we've had no plan. So I'm completely gassed about this, because I can see it. The effect Tuchel had on Chelsea, I can see Rangnick having that on Manchester United, not to win the Champions League, but just improvement. Because the bar for me look like a football team again. Because the bar for me is on the floor. It's not even on the floor; it's in the ground.
Yeah.
So the fact that Rangnick's going to come in, and I think he'll lift that, because I've seen it against Villarreal and Chelsea. Were those performances good overall? No. But what I seen was better defensive performances. And people are like, oh, you still conceded chances. I'm like, yes, I never said it was a
Rome wasn't built in a day, man.
It wasn't built in a day. And if look back, we conceded 4 to Watford. We conceded 2 to Manchester City. We conceded 5 to Liverpool. We conceded 4 to Leicester. When Carrick's not going to come in and completely change that, because he doesn't have the capabilities. However, everybody said, oh, it's the same coaching staff. Is there going to be any difference? How come all of a sudden we look more of a cohesive defensive unit? How come all of a sudden I'm seeing average position maps and I can tell the shape? Whereas before, I could tell the shape. Whereas before, I'm looking at it, it looks like a Rugby World Cup lineup. It looks like the Diplomats logo. I swear down, there was one and we was like this. Legit deluded. We was like this. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, yo,
oh my God.
I'm like, what is happening? Whereas I watched Chelsea, I seen it, and were we too deep? Yeah, but I could see it. I could see the actual shape. And even against Chelsea, I could see the plan. Carrick came in, dropped Bruno the first game, dropped Ronaldo the second game. Good. Whether I like the game plan or not, let me see what the game plan is and try and execute it. Now, going forward and ball retention, not good enough. But we got two fantastic results, because we were looking at Europa League. Ollie's still in charge. We don't win that game against Villarreal, and Chelsea spliff us 100%. Absolutely
100%. I agree with that point. If Thingy's there, you lose that because of the whole system. And I was in that camp as a neutral, thinking, all right, cool. If Carrick's part of it, then naturally he might be part of the problem. But to be fair, he might have all the ideas in the world, or better ideas, and been trying to tell Ollie. Ultimately, Ollie's the gaffer. Do you think that was the case then? Because you look a bit different.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Everybody said that to me. Oh, the coaching staff is still there. They're still gonna. Ollie doesn't do any of the coaching. At the end of the day, he's still head honcho. He still has the final say. So Carrick, McKenna, Phelan can all put an idea to him. But if Ollie says no, I'm gonna go with this, then that's what's gonna happen. Simple thing of this is Fred. Fred all of a sudden is now playing higher up the pitch. Everybody knows Fred's strengths. Everybody knows Fred's weaknesses. There's no way Fred should be playing as a 6, picking up the ball off the centre backs or on the edge of our box. That's not his game. Whereas you play him higher up the pitch, he can press. We've seen it against Villarreal. He scored a goal. You've seen it against them. You shouldn't have tried to chip Mendy, but you've seen it against Chelsea.
Yeah.
You've seen the same.
Not knowing your capabilities on that.
You know your capabilities, but the fact he's in that position to do
more
that,
of a tune out of players, especially the basic ones. 100%.
Basic. Like I'm saying, people act like you need, and that's one thing I really disliked when I was discussing Manchester United with Ollie Inners. People act like you need 22 world-class players. That squad don't exist. I don't know if City fooled everybody into that, but even they don't have 22 world-class players. That squad,
competent players and a couple difference makers.
This is it. You play Football Manager. That's where that exists. 22 world-class is the only time in your squad you will have that. You have to utilize what you have, and we've seen that with Fred. You know what I'm saying? People would, if Ollie plays that midfielder, Fred, Matic, McTominay, we're getting crucified. He's getting crucified, and we're not getting a result.
It's going to be rubbed, yeah.
Carrick played it with an idea. You know what I'm saying? He played it with a game plan. And did they string it together? No. Yeah, we can't string 5 passes. Yeah, to an extent, Sweden's right. We can't string 5 passes together. But that's more so on, I think the players are low on confidence as well.
You got a question here. Can you ask Flawless what he thinks is going to happen with Pogba? Took the words out of my mouth because that's what I was going to allude to. Now, you kind of mentioned it. Ralf might stay, obviously, until something signed. It's Willie, won't he?
Willie won't. Personally, I think he is gone. As much as that pains me, because I rate him highly as a player, and I think under Rangnick as well, all he needs is the correct system and the correct tools around him. And again, he's another one. Even because he's so good, he's capable of playing 6, but he's not a number 6. Pogba should never ever be picking up he should be in the opposition's final third. I don't want Pogba in our final third or in the middle. You're an Arsenal fan. Where you want, if Pogba's playing, even though he's injured, playing tomorrow, you want him picking up the ball off the centre backs. You don't want him in the Arsenal final third, because that's a problem. He can pick passes. You know what I'm saying? He can score goals. He can aerially score goals.
If you can see Pogba, it's not an issue. It just becomes a case of marking the runners now, and then you've kind of done it.
That's it. Whereas, so that's what it is. But do I believe he's gone? Yeah, because I'm looking at that Real Madrid project, and it's looking like Pogba's going to go there. Mbappe's going to go there. Why would you not? Zidane might spin the block and go back to the Bernabeu. Like that might happen. So if I'm Pogba, do I stay here where it's still not a 50-50 project, but it's still, I'm not sure. Whereas, Real Madrid is say, like if they bring in Mbappe and him, and I've heard Camavinga's there, so they're doing the French thing. Tchouaméni might go there. Why would you not go there? Haaland's a possibility. They could go get Haaland and they could do the NBA free agency thing and go get Haaland, Mbappe, and Pogba for 70 million combined, or 45, however much Haaland's release clause, because Mbappe's on a free, Pogba's on a free. Why would you not go there? So yeah, I think unfortunately from a Manchester United perspective, he is gone. But I hope I'm wrong.
What do you make of, on the topic of players, let me shoot a couple more at you in terms of Van der Beek, Jadon Sancho now, because especially Jadon, because obviously I enjoy the banter, but I like him as a footballer, and I just feel whether he's going to be a success or not, or ever live up to expectations, I think football is ridiculous. It's been 6 months. He might as well have been a foreign player because he's never kicked a ball in this country at senior level. And there's a lot he obviously could do better, but there's a lot of taxes. There's the Oli tax, there's adjusting to Man United, there's the system, there's the Premier League and all of that jazz. So where you at with a couple of, the Van der Beeks, the Sanchos, who's, I won't say Sancho's future was in the balance, but you kind of asking what's going on with these sort of players.
With Sancho, I knew he was going to struggle. I said this on live streams from the start of the season beforehand. Sancho's going to come in and he's not going to look like the Sancho from Dortmund, because he's coming into the worst possible predicament. I said it all the time. Oli tax is the heftiest tax in world sport, and it's gonna hit in world sport, and it's gonna hit Sancho, because when you play for Manchester United, you are out there by yourself in terms of you rely on your individual brilliance. There's no team structure. There's no team moves. You got to get the ball and do what you can. So that's why you see Rashford does what he does. Bruno, same with Ronaldo. He found it out. What's it called? All of the players, Martial, all of them, found that out very quickly. And that's what it is with Sancho. Sancho's mad talented. No doubt about it. And we're seeing as soon as Oli leaves, all of a sudden he looks good. He looked good against Watford in the second 45 minutes. He didn't look good against Chelsea, but he was better against Chelsea already. But again, that's just him playing. But Oli didn't know how to utilize him. There was no plan. The plan was get Sancho because he's a good player. That was it. There was we're going to get Sancho and he's going to play right wing and such is going to play through the middle. No, it was get Sancho. It wasn't get Sancho and he's going to play left wing and he's going to link up with Tellez or Shaw or whoever. There was no plan. It was get Sancho because he's a great name and it appeases the fans, which it did because he was needed in the squad. I'm a massive fan of Sancho, but I knew he was going to look bad. So 2 years we chased him, and it's like get the deal over the line. But now we're going to see we're going to see the best of Sancho, because there's an interview from, I think it's a couple of years ago, and Rangnick was talking about Sancho and how good he is, and everyone can see his qualities and his abilities. And you don't have to worry about him because he's from here. You don't have to worry about the language barrier. He knows all the man them as well. So that's going to help him. So I can see him flying, and I've seen
a couple more performances. You just see he's clearly a confidence player. He needs to just believe in himself.
Confidence, and everyone's confidence is in the toilet. So whether that was the manager, the coaching staff, the players, the fans, we weren't confident at all. And that's the same with Donny van der Beek should have been playing. I seen certain Manchester United fans trying to say Donny's not good enough, and I'm like, how do we know that when he hasn't had a run of games? Give this man 3-4 games in a row, then we can start to judge him. I'm all about, that's just me. That's just unfair. And that's people running agendas. That's for every player. I see I like Dalot get criticized, and I'm not saying Dalot's the answer. What I'm saying is Wan-Bissaka's been poor, play Dalot, and let's just see how he does. He could be absolutely awful. Yes, people will go to the Villarreal game. All right, he had a poor game, but Wan-Bissaka's been poor for however long, and we just let it slide. So I don't understand what people's thought process is on that. But yeah, both of them top quality players, and I see them. I think they'll be gassed about Rangnick coming in because I see them both having major roles. Because Donny's, every time I see him, he plays well. I don't remember a bad game. And even against Watford, where we were awful, he came on and changed that game.
Scored Ollie's last goal, innit? Ironically.
Scored poetic justice, scored Ollie's last goal. Very much poetic justice, scored Ollie's last goal. And I thought, again, when it went 2-1, I thought, these men are going to save him again. But then Maguire did the red card thing. So I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
They were going to save him again. Individual brilliance again, back again, but he couldn't save him.
You basically alluded to it, yeah. I was about to ask you the man behind Sancho, because obviously, as an Arsenal fan, we've had these long talks about wingers and why certain wingers are not sliding. I'm clearly not on chatting about it, but you know, how good can Sancho be if Wan-Bissaka has these problems? Like, and where do you see it going for Wan-Bissaka? And obviously, you mentioned Harry Maguire. Where are you at with him?
Yeah, even with Wan-Bissaka, obviously we know defensively one-on-one he's fine. Defensively, positional sense he needs to improve upon. But again, that's coaching. He out there by himself. Does he need to do better? Yes. But all it takes is for a coach to go, you keep getting drawn in when the ball's on the left-hand side. Just to get me, back up a little bit. Literally, even the Rudiger chance. Even the Rudiger chance. That's on him. Why he's coming into the center of the pitch, the center of the goal, I have no idea. But that comes back to coaching. Him going forward, yes, he has a lot of deficiencies. However, that comes down to a system in place and the manager figuring that out. I say this all the time. Why are we playing out from the back with Wan-Bissaka? What are we know that's not his game. It makes, and I'm not no UEFA A, B. I am not no football manager whatsoever. I'm not no football expert. Let me put that out there. But I can see that. We have Ronaldo up top. Just go long. Just go direct every now and again. Cavani's playing up top. Go long. Or if Pogba's playing, he's 6'2", 6'3". Push him forward on the left wing and just go a bit more direct. I don't know why we're playing out from the back with Wan-Bissaka. So do I think that Rangnick can get a tune out of him? Yes. Even as a runner, I've said just be a decoy runner. Just be a decoy runner.
Something I want at Arsenal. Just take a man with you.
Just take a man with you. I say it all the time because he is an athlete, so he can get up and down. Be a decoy runner and improve your crossing. The thing is, technical ability can be improved upon in terms of crossing and shooting and things of nature. Just teach him how to cross from certain areas, whether it's a low cross, whether it's a dink to the back post, whether it's whipped around the front post. Gary Neville was like that. For those that are old enough to remember, when he first started playing for United, his crossing wasn't that great, and he improved upon it and it became a great asset for him to have. So I'm not saying, do we need to improve that position? Yes, I want a right back. But what I'm saying is Wan-Bissaka can still be a squad player. So if he's back up, or if we go to the back three, I like the idea of him as a right-sided centre-back because that takes away him going forward and he just needs to work on his positional.
You think he could have a future in a back three?
As
a centre-half.
As a centre-half in a back three, yes. I could see that working. Absolutely. Because all he needs to work on, because if you're playing in the back three, it takes away you having to go forward. So that eradicates a lot of his problems and it's just his positional sense, which comes with time, experience, etc. And even if he's a squad player, like I'm cool with that. But again, do we need improvements if we're gonna go with the back four? Yes. I heard we got linked with Lamptey.
That's who you should be. He's the sort of man you should be trying to grab, really.
Yeah, I prefer that 100%. I'd be fully, like I said, I know he's got his injury problems, but I'm not sure if it's reoccurring or it's different ones. But I like the fact we're being linked with a right back because it's the modern day game. Fullbacks get a lot of time on the ball and need to be good defensively as they are going forward. But again, that's deficiency. Like Klopp realized that with Trent. Trent is incredible going forward. Defensively, he's not the best. So that's why he played 2 number 8s, 2 number 6s and played defensive players. And it wasn't until last season when they had injuries, Trent not being able to defend was a conversation. 2 years he's been like that. But no one said anything because Klopp put a system in place that master. Now all of a sudden Trent can't defend. And that's what good managers, because there's no such thing as perfect players. I don't know where these perfect players exist. Like I said, maybe on FIFA and Football Manager. That's it. Not in real life. They don't exist.
And this is the problem, bro, because people will hear you say things like that and say, oh, you're being negative. You're getting at the player. No, everyone's got negativities. If he's 5'2", he's not going to be the best in the air. So put it on his feet. Like, this is simple business.
You know what I'm saying? And that don't be trying to clip the ball long to him. That's what I said about Wan-Bissaka. You setting him up to fail. He's not the best with the ball at his feet. Stop playing the ball out to him. Stop playing the ball out to him. Play it the other side. Give it to Lindelof. Give it to Tellez if he's playing, or give it to Shaw, or just clip it long. We have players up top who can do that. So, but again, that all comes, everything I'm saying every question you've asked me always comes back down to coaching and instruction.
I've clocked
And
that
whether that's
theme,
the
yeah.
coaches or the players need to take accountability as well. Like, you know that you've played ball deluded. And when the certain man in the team, you're like, yeah, I ain't passing this guy the ball. None of you man have said anything, but everybody knows, yeah, don't give this guy a ball.
You
Dribble or pass it to someone because he don't want it or he's not good on it. And it's like, so
just like with Benzema a couple seasons ago with Vinicius Jr. And now look at him flying.
Yes, Vinicius Jr. Yo, don't pass him the ball. He's playing against us, and it's wild that he said it out loud. But we've anyone who's in the chat who's played football, whether it's Saturday League, Sunday League, or a higher level, has had players like that in their team. I've played ball. There's been players like that in the team, and I'm like, yeah, don't give this guy the ball because you know we're gonna lose it and he's gonna do nothing. But here we are.
But there's certain things that's the thing. You have to have played football, love football at its purest level to get things like that. People don't get that, or they say you got agendas. I've been violating this guy. I apologize, Crypto Fan. He said, who does Flawless prefer to bench, Tavares or Tini? Obviously, that's an interesting question because that's a mad debate with us Arsenal fans going into tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of Tavares, actually. Tierney, I do rate. He just seems to be injury prone. And I've seen Arsenal fans talking about Tavares. So, to be honest, I'm not really sure. It'd be unfair of me to say whether to, because Tavares, I've only heard from Arsenal fans about. I've not actually sat and watched him for a full 90 minutes. So, yeah, man, that's what I'd say on that. But Tierney, I do rate. Every time I see him play, he looks like a good player, positive going forward. Defensively, he looks solid as well.
I mean, you said it there. Like, for me as an Arsenal fan, there's a small sample size on Tavares, you know. For when Tavares signed for us, and, you know, I don't like to read too much into what players say, but he was talking about his style of play. And as you said earlier, I know the modern day fullback, you got to get forward, but I was reading what he was saying, and he made no mention of defending or defensive. He's talking about his right foot more. So I was thinking, all right, cool. You're one of them, man. You go forward. There's a bit of a method to your madness. All right, cool. Let's see what you're on. And as you saw against Liverpool, he's had good games. That was his only bad game, but there's the issues. And that's for me, it depends, you know, going into Old Trafford, I hear it, you know, Carrick maybe not be betting on him to play. He does go forward. You have a shaky defense, but then there's space behind. And then, you know, your right hand side's got Jadon Sancho, who, you know, what better way to endear yourself to score in a game like this at home after, you know, scoring against Chelsea and the champs. So for me, it's Tierney, but we can't win. If Tierney comes in, he's not fit, you should have played Tavares and vice versa. So I don't know where we go with the left back thing. I don't even know where we go with formations, bro, going into it. I don't know. I don't know a lot of stuff about Arsenal.
And that's the question mark. It's the same with me with Manchester United because it's Carrick. This is his first home game. This is the first game.
Right, you know.
Yeah, it's his first home game. This is the first game since Ollie's been gone as well. So I reckon the place is going to be rocking. How does he decide to set up? Does he be a bit more proactive because we're at home, which I'm hoping. I want us to be more proactive. Do we push higher up the pitch? Do we put pressure on the Arsenal defense? It's always a big game. Don't matter if it's United and Arsenal not where they're at, whether we're both in the Championship or League 2. This is still a massive game.
And that's
social media
out the window, bro.
Form goes out the window. This is a social media derby. This is the biggest, like I say, it's the social media derby and the previews. This preview right now between me and Deluded will be more entertaining than the game, I'm hoping. Because the games haven't been entertaining recently. Last year, Ballfest. Both of them Ballfest. Yeah. Season before, Ballfest. This one might be because there's a little more spice on it. Maybe there's more of an edge to it. Maybe because it's Ollie's gone. Maybe United raised their game. Maybe Arsenal come with a point to prove. So we'll see. I'm just hoping we're more proactive and try and dominate and get on the ball more. Well, because it's Carrick, I don't know what formation we're going to play. I don't know what we are going to see.
And that's what scares me because obviously I don't know what Carrick's going to go on and do, but I have an inkling that he wants to be a manager. So I don't know if he's going to leave. So this is somewhat a way to showcase. And for what I saw against Chelsea, it's the Chelsea game that really scared me. It's like, all right, cool. Jorginho made a mistake. Why Jorginho's the last man, I don't know. But it's the pressing. It's the fact that they play with a high line. That's two problems with Arsenal. I think there's a lot of things, a lot of problems you look at United. They're parallel with Arsenal. There's a lot of things. Don't play well for 90 minutes. All right, cool. We've improved defensively. We've still got them errors in us. And as good as we've been, Ramsdale's always our man of the match. So we can't be that switched on defensively. And we still ain't played well for 90. You lot don't play well for 90, but take advantage in a couple moments. So I'm shook, man. I'll take a point. Obviously, the way you're at, and our form at Old Trafford isn't the best, especially what I think one win in the last 15, 17 years, something mad like that.
Yeah, I remember you saying this.
In my opinion, there's never been a better chance to make it 2 wins in 17 years in that regard, really and truly. Like, be proactive. It's like, with respectfully to United, you man are shipping goals. Like, it's unheard of. There's like 20, you man are up there about 20 goals conceded. Go and ask questions. I don't want us to have that healthy respect for your players, as I'm sure you lot will. But opportunities, we've been speaking about Wan-Bissaka. If Maguire plays, De Gea does his thing. But when you're poor, and as much as there's enthusiasm about a new manager, I've been in a defense. When you're shipping goals and you ship another one, couple man think, woe is me. That's kind of what I want to see. And for you lot, if I was you lot, I'd say get out our defense. If you lot really are a new look Arsenal team, let's see. Because I think all of them have looked shaky on occasion, bro.
Put it on Arsenal. That's what I want to see us be positive, get higher with the pitch. We're not playing away from home. We're not at the bridge. We're not playing Villarreal away. This is Arsenal at home. Go for it, because that gets the crowd up for it as well. And then that's gonna rub off on the players. And if we score an early goal, then the onus is on Arsenal to respond. We haven't blitzed the team in a long time. And that's what I want to see. Do I believe it happens? No. Are the players capable? Yes, just because, again, I touched on it. The attacking players we have, whatever the front four is, we have attacking players who can hurt any team. And you're talking about Arsenal deficiencies. So let's go. We're better going forward than we are defensively. So lean on our strengths and go forward. And again, be proactive. I want to see a high line. Be proactive. And the game plan to be get at Arsenal. Dominate the ball. The Arsenal play on the counter-attack. And I fancy our chances in this game anyway, because for the reasons I mentioned, first home game without Oli, Arsenal, easy game to get up for. I'm excited for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm always excited.
I'm actually more nervous than I should be. I can't count.
Excited for it. But you know why I'm excited for it? Because I've been unhappy for 2.5 years under Oli. So this is why now I'm excited for the game. For the first time, I'm excited. I was excited for Villarreal, Chelsea away. I'm looking, all right, I'm doing watch-alongs, and we're just having conversations about other stuff. Me and the man them on the chat, in the comments, talking about all other stuff. The games are afterthought, doing watch-alongs and not watching along. Because I know whether we win, if we win, we lose, we draw, we lose, and we lose, we lose. There was never anything to gain. It's just this manager was still here, and we still have all the deficiencies. Whereas now, it's optimism. There's light. I'm at the end of the tunnel. There's light now. You know what I'm saying? Even with Carrick in charge, because you get new manager bouts, but him going, people forget, and you'll know this again, Deluded, because you played, how much of football is mental and happiness and confidence. And all of a sudden, this is the same team that wasn't running under Oli is now running down
where were they? Why can't they do it every week in them same cliche questions?
Same cliche question. I've seen Keane saying that and Sky talking about it's the same players. Why couldn't they do this under Oli? That falls on the manager. That's the head honcho. Because that was one thing people praised him for, was his man management. So where was that? It was
overrated, that man management. I meant to ask you that earlier.
Yes, it was overrated. Yes, absolutely. Because players was unhappy. Like if Jose had treated Donny how Oli did, he would have been crucified. Absolutely crucified. Bringing a player for 40 million, and it's not even like the players in front of Donny were playing well. Consistently playing bad, and you still don't play him. And then every time we see him, he plays well. You brought in Tellers. Shaw's been poor. You don't play Tellers, etc. Maguire playing poor, never dropping. No one was ever held accountable. Bruno played poor, never dropped him. And things like that, misusing Pogba and things of that nature. But here we are.
That's true, when I look at it, because I think a couple of things, at least early on, it looked like his man management was good. For me, how we kind of dealt with Greenwood, there was a period where he weren't scoring and people weren't quite being nice to Greenwood. He took him out and then let him go. And that's where I look at it. I mean, as an outsider looking in, because I've spent this, this live stream speaking about your team from a neutral point of view. What have you made of Arsenal?
In terms of defensively, you look miles better. That's what I'd say. Because one thing that Arsenal were renowned for were just being weak defensively and just being blown away. And you've picked up results in games where you may have dropped points. So, for instance, like the Burnley game away, you managed to win. The Norwich game at the time was a big game, even though I expected Arsenal to win that game. All jokes aside, it's a big game. There's over you beat you play Villa. Villa at home was another one. So you're picking up points. So what I've made from Arsenal, from what I've seen, is you're looking better going forward. Your fan base seems slightly happier for the most part, because you're in a very similar situation to us, it seems.
And this is why I can't understand the polarizing opinion. I think, as an Arsenal fan, I just think we go through too much extremes. We're the best thing since sliced bread one week, fucking shit the next week. It's like there's a neutral ground. We're just good, bad, and ugly.
That's legit what it is. You're a team. You finished 8th back-to-back twice. So it makes sense as to why you are where you are. If you're finishing in those, you're not going to be consistently good. But then you're not consistently bad. That's why you're not in the bottom half. So that's how I look at Arsenal. He's bringing in his own players as well. Arteta trying to build. We'll see how it goes. This is a massive test for you lot. If you lot win here, massive result. If you lose here, not only have you lost at Anfield, you've lost at Old Trafford. I heard you saying your running coming up is tough. You got West Ham. coming
West
up, and
Ham,
who the other
Everton,
teams.
regardless
You got
of
Everton.
Everton's form, they're going to raise it. These are guys
This
that
is what I'm
you
saying.
got to take points off you lot and them two if you want to do this top
Now
four.
Now you're running the gauntlet. Now I'm saying, and that you play Liverpool, Manchester United, West Ham, Everton. Even though Everton been in poor form, these are better sides. You're now playing sides in the top half of the Premier League. Let's see where we're stack up, because that's going to be the difference between 8th and 5th, or 7th and potentially 4th. So that's what it is with Arsenal. But Arteta's bringing in his own players. I'm hearing a lot about the Congo. I'm hearing, even when you were getting beat earlier in the season, he seemed to always be the bright spot. When I'm watching Arsenal fan cams, etc., and I'm hearing you talk on it, it seems to be Lokonga is the man that was the bright spark in the team, and he was playing well. So you got
I think if you
Partey in there.
press him, there's problems with
There's
the
problems.
I still think he's in holiday mode in that, you know, obviously you're coming from Belgium to here. You want a million years in possession and
he don't get that.
Palace. Yeah, and I think obviously, like you said, basic competencies. You know, I don't think Fred is necessarily good on the ball or McTominay. They should be good pressers, and they probably are good pressers. You're not going to have a million years at Old Trafford, and that pitch is massive. So this is why I'm kind of scared of that pivot.
Yeah, it depends if he does play McFred, because he's not been playing it like as a pivot, like he's played it. It was like a 4-1-3-2. So it was kind of like a diamond type shape where Mike was at the base, and then he had Fred left, McTominay right, Bruno 10. That's how he played against. That's how he played against Chelsea, and that's just a little adjustment, which makes the world of difference. Rather than the genuine 4-2-3-1, just play Fred higher up the pitch, which we all know he is best for because of his attributes. But yeah, it's looking obviously. Aubameyang, I don't know what's going on with Aubameyang. I have no idea.
Find out, let me know,
what's happening with Aubameyang. Smith Rowe seems like he's playing well. Obviously, he's been mentioned a lot on specifically on social media. Smith Rowe's been playing. Saka seems to be playing decent as well. So we'll see. I did watch you lot against Palace and get the last minute equalizer also. So I'm very interested to see how Arsenal settle. Very interested to see how you lot do.
I meant to ask you as well, in relation to obviously Ralph's come in, Ollie's gone, players this, players that. What's your expectations on the season? What are you trying to salvage? Because again, you're only out of the League Cup. I think you lost to West Ham, but you're still in everything else. Mathematically, you're still in a top 4 race. Probably the league's a myth now. But yeah, man.
League was a myth from the jump. Like, let's just get it out there. People who are talking about we signed Varane, Sancho, and Ronaldo, and we was going to win the league. We was never going to win the league under this manager. That wasn't happening. And there's me of live stream saying that. Me and Statman Baines was on a live stream when Ronaldo got announced, and you can go check that out, people. And he's gassed, jumping up and down. And I'm just there chilling. He's like, why are you not gassed? Because I'm like, yo, it doesn't make any difference. And as we've seen, it didn't make any difference because the manager's been sacked. But in regards to the top 4 minimum, definitely top 4 minimum. And I'm very confident of finishing top 4 because I've seen this team manage and coach itself to top 4. And there's no teams I look at and go, they're a major obstacle.
They're a level above anyone.
Yeah. Like you have the top 3, they're clear. I think the top 3 is the top 3, whatever order you want to put them in. I look at West Ham, they're a good side. Leicester have fallen off. I don't think Arsenal are good enough to finish top 4. Everton, no. So there's no big obstacle.
It's a free for all, without a doubt.
Yeah, there's no major challenge where I look at and go, we might not finish top 4. The one I was worried about actually was Spurs when they signed Conte. Well, now Conte's coming out talking about the level's not that high. So
he's going to have less hair than Pep Guardiola.
Exactly. And that. He's stressed. He gone there and he's like, I knew this was a job.
He should have waited.
Yo, this is a bigger job than I expected. Maybe he should have waited. Because I was like, when Conte went there, I was genuinely concerned. But I'm like, Spurs still have quality players. And he definitely has the potential to make them finish top 4. But after seeing the first couple of weeks, I'm like, all right, we good here. So definitely top 4 I'm looking at. FA Cup, I'm looking at winning. I reckon it's a possibility. I'm not saying we definitely win it, but
you need to go
far. It's definitely a trophy. Go far in it, especially with the draw as well. And the Champions League, I just want to see us go deep in the competition. We finished top of the group. We've won the group. It's favorable. All the teams who are currently in runners up, even PSG, I fancy us against. Even though if we draw PSG
over 2 legs, I think a lot of teams should fancy PSG, man.
Yeah, over 2. They're just not the ones I want because to me, when I look at the teams who are all in the runners-up spots, they're clearing above anybody else. That's why I don't want them. Give me a Lille or something. Give me a Salzburg. Let Rangnick run that back. And yeah, I'm looking at Champions League quarterfinals, potentially the semi-finals, again, depending on the draw with a favorable draw. Do I believe we win it? No. But I'd like to see us go deep into the competition simply because that experience for the players is invaluable. Because if, say, we go to the quarterfinals and we get knocked out by Bayern Munich, quarters or semis, next season, we could come up against Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals or the semi-finals again. The players are now in a better position. Right, we've been here before.
In that regard,
more seasoned experience. Like people really underestimate going deep into competitions, especially the Champions League. I watched it happen all the way through the 90s and early 2000s. even under Fergie, United had to get accustomed to going deeper into European competition. We've seen City under Pep lose their first Champions League final. Now, if they get back to the final this year, that's going to stand them in good stead. We've been here before. Same way with Chelsea.
Liverpool did
you
it
see,
before
Liverpool,
they
a
won
prime
it as well.
example. Liverpool lost the final, next season came back, won it. You know what I'm saying? And that helps you. Experience is like, that is invaluable because you can't recreate that pressure anywhere else. So, yeah, deep into, so top 4, definitely. FA Cup, I want to win 100%. And deep into the Champions League, I'm looking at.
Last 2 questions before I let you get out of it, my guy. What formation and personnel are you going with if you obviously picking United's lineup tomorrow, and obviously a prediction?
If I'm going United's line, that's a good question. There we go,
right, man. Because I can't. Obviously, you mentioned it. You know, Carrick's had 2 games. He could do anything, and there's no.
He could do anything. For me, I would go definitely De Gea in goal. Tellers at left back. Wan-Bissaka at right back. Has to be Bailly and Lindelof, because actually no, it doesn't, because Maguire's fit. But I'd still go. I'm not a fan of Lindelof, but I go like Maguire needs to drop in. I go Lindelof, Bailly. That'd be my back 4. I'd go Donny and Matic in the pivot. Would I go Donny and Matic in the pivot? Yeah, I would. I go Donny and Matic in the pivot. Play Bruno in the 10. Where'd I go? Rashford's been poor, you know. Trying to think, but he does play well against Arsenal, though. He seems to turn up.
Anyone better than that Lingard, brother? He's one guy.
Yeah. If it was at the Emirates, I'd definitely say Lingard. I'd go. This is tough. Probably go Sancho from the right. Martial from the left, Ronaldo up top.
Oh, Martial. Another question. What going for Martial? I actually completely forgot him in the whole talk of this. He's a forgotten man, really.
Martial, he had a poor season. I'm a big fan of it. I had a poor season last season. Not good enough. Poor season last season. Not good enough whatsoever last season. However, he's another one. The talent is there. But our fan base seem to just not like him. He's one of the scapegoats, I say. Like, as soon as Manchester United, if he plays, no matter, and we lose, it's Martial's fault.
It's the body
no
language.
matter if he plays well or not. Body language, you don't smile on all this type of thing. Fred's in that bracket. I already know. I'm doing watch-alongs. Before I check my Twitter, if Pogba, Fred, or Martial are playing and we lose, one of those is trending. No matter if they're 3 of the better players in that. Like, I seen a stat my brother Tox put it out on he retweeted it on Twitter. People call Pogba lazy. How is he our second highest presser? Well, he's lazy. Well, he's our second highest presser. But people will say he's late. Like, make it make sense.
The undertones are brazy.
Yeah, man, the undertones are brazy. That racismo. You get what I'm saying? But he's lazy. That racismo heavy.
I've never seen someone get killed for being in a wedding with his family. Jesus.
Yeah, yo, fam. Man went to a wedding. His brother's wedding, you know.
And he's
why is he there?
Killing him for dancing.
Killing him for dancing. He's talking, he dyes his hair. Yo, sorry to let you know, black people, we get cuts, we get trims, we dye our hair. Mine needs doing, but did we do the style thing? For dancing, he shouldn't be dancing in the changing room with Lingard and all this type of thing. Absolute nonsense. But yeah, Pogba is ridiculous, like the criticism. But back to the Martial thing, yeah. Again, the talent's there, but does he? I said it before at the end of last season. He needs to produce this season. And then when Ronaldo came in, I said it's a wrap for him. He's gone. I said it's a wrap because he's not going to get the game time to prove his worth. Not in the slightest. And we've seen that as soon as Ronaldo, because I didn't want Ronaldo because there was no plan to get him. We literally signed him so he didn't go City. That's a terrible way to run your football club and do business, as good as Ronaldo is. But he's here now. We utilize him. And I trust Rangnick to get the best out of all these players.
Would you make of the whole pressing shenanigans? Because obviously there's a lot of talk of German pressing with my man. Ronaldo, there's a whole different talk around fans around, can he press? He don't press. There's no point in him. Obviously was dropped for Chelsea. Where are you at with that pressing?
Yeah. Here's the thing is, Ronaldo, people think pressing is just about having energy, having legs.
And running around.
And just running around. Whereas no, you can be energetic and be a bad presser. Because if you press when it's not the right time to press, that exposes the whole team. Bruno did it for...
Your fans should have seen that with Bruno.
Bruno, I think
we had Alexis Sanchez who would do that at times.
There we go. I think it was the Liverpool game or the City game, 1 out of 2, and it got passed back to the goalkeeper. He's pressed the goalkeeper when he shouldn't have. It's left a big gap, and then boom, it's left the rest of the team. If we're a front 4 and it's me, you, and 2 others, and I go press at the wrong time, that fucks up you and the 2 others.
Exactly.
And people don't seem to realize that. It's about being organized in the press. Can Ronaldo press? Yes, he's capable. But you just give him instruction. Is it his game? No. However, if that's what the manager wants, that's what you have to do. We've seen Pep do it with Aguero. And
facts.
Aguero's to me, the greatest striker in the Premier League in the past 10 years. Look at his goal record in the Premier League. Look at his record against the Big Six. And Pep asked that of him. You need to do this for me. And Aguero obliged, and they won trophies. So it makes sense as to why that happened. So can Ronaldo press? Yes. Do I see him refusing to do it? Ronaldo seems like the type. He'll do anything to win. He'll do anything to win.
So
He's definitely on that. So if it's that, so if Rangnick says, I need you to press in these blocks, I think he'll do it. And he's capable. He's an athlete. Again, at 36, there's certain games that won't be for him. That's why I said Chelsea game was right to draw. If you're playing on a counter-attack, you don't play Ronaldo because United have better options suited for that game plan. And again, that's what me and Statman Baines got into it massively about, because he's like, you play Ronaldo every game, you play him every big game. And I'm like, no, because we have better players suited for a counter-attacking style. Out of all of our players outside of Cavani, he's probably the second. He's the second worst. You know what I'm saying? Like, you Deluded, if we're coming to the Emirates and we're playing on a counter-attack, I was saying this, you want Ronaldo to play. Yeah, you ain't trying to see Sancho, Rashford, Lingard, Greenwood, or Martial, because you know they're much more effective on it. Too much pace, and people made out like I was like, oh, Ronaldo slow, Ronaldo can't.
They're just seeing the name and crying. They're not seeing the logic.
Not seeing the logic. And the thing is, Ronaldo can play in a counter-attacking style. What I'm saying is we have better options for that. That's all it is, just better suited. And that's not sure Ronaldo, but we'll see. We'll see.
All right, calm, man. So, boom, last question. Predictions, my man.
Oh, yeah, I'm going 2-0 United. I'm going with a clean sheet.
Do you know, if
I
have to do the bossy thing and talk with my chest, I'll say 2-1. But in my heart, I think it's 1-1 or 2-1. You, man. Like, I'm undoubtedly nervous, bro. I don't know why I'm so nervous for this game. There's just something. I just feel like there's something in the air. I hope the players aren't listening to this or listening to me, but I'm just wary because I don't know if it's the underdog thing, but if you just look at the rhetoric, there's not a single reason as to why you man win. And then suddenly life is funny. After the game, we'll talk about things. So I'm shook, man. I'm shook. I can't cap.
Nah, you know what it is? You know why? It's the unknown. If it's Ollie, you know what you're getting. Whereas
That's it.
Eric, he's had 2 good results. The performances ain't been best. It's the unknown. I don't know what I'm going to see in terms of formation. Neither do you as the opposition. So you're like, right, United could come out here and try blitz us. They could come out here and sit back in a low block and say break us down, which could be tough for Arsenal as well.
And it's the players for me, bro. It's the players. It's like you said earlier, it's like obviously you got to listen to the tactics. It's all a game for tactics, but I'm looking for reasons for you lot to be motivated. Now, obviously Arsenal should want to be motivated. We've got a woeful record. You can prove a lot of critics wrong, but your season's rejuvenized. As you said, when man are feeling better, it's like a lot of people don't understand that. If you're happy at work, you're going to have more productivity. So that means there's going to be more of a swagger. You're going to try things, and
exactly,
you're going to have to do that against us.
Exactly. I said that legit a couple of days ago, like in terms of a happy workforce, you're going to be more productive. You are going to try more things. And we're not getting a new manager bounce. Just the manager going has given us a lift. Rangnick, not even being here, but his arrival has given everybody a lift. Everyone all of a sudden running more. All of a sudden, just like that. In 2 days, everybody's running more. Just in 2 days. I'm optimistic. I'm talking. In the whole time I've been doing content creating, I haven't looked forward to a United match. But that first time was that Villarreal game. The Villarreal game, because I've been Ollie out for the longest. I only started doing content creating about, like in terms of YouTube and live streaming, about a year and a half ago or so. So that whole entire year and a half, I'm not talking with chest. I'm talking about United, and I'm like, I don't even want to talk about this. I'm talking about it because I have to. Like I had no choice. Whereas now I'm talking with energy. I can come on here and be like, yeah, I think we'll win. Whereas if this was 2 weeks ago and you had gone me and we're talking, I'm saying draw, Arsenal win. I'm not confident. I'm not confident. Now I have some confidence going into this game. Like, right, we can do something here. 100%.
I mean, as much as I like you on my channel, I hope the God you're wrong. But hey, man, it is what it is. Obviously, you mentioned you do your own content. You got any shows to come?
Yeah, so on Sarcasm City TV, we've got, what have we got coming up? The Sarcasm City Sports Q&A. That will be on the YouTube channel. So that's where in the comments, people, you lot run the show. You lot run the show, so you can see it there. That's the YouTube right there. Much appreciated you putting on the screen. So yeah, the Q&A, where it's myself, a few co-hosts. I'm definitely gonna have to get Deluded on as well. And we just answer all your sporting questions. So it's not just football, it's anything past and present. As for the Twitch, we're doing I do non-Manchester United Premier League watch-alongs on there, so you can see Newcastle, Norwich. We also do NBA as well. But even with the NBA, if you're an NBA fan, get over there. But we also answer footballing questions, and it's just vibes, and we be running bants and running jokes as well. So you can see the NBA streams there as well. And Wells Boxing Show, That's going to be coming back for the big fights. UFC show will be coming back. So anything sport related. There's also shows for all the big 6 clubs as well in the United City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, you know what I'm saying, and Spurs as well. So yeah, man, we go live every day on both the Sarcasm City TV, YouTube, and Twitch. People live every day on both.
Exactly. So you heard him. Check it out. I'm pretty sure he's probably done some Arsenal, Man United content and got several contents following. You know where to hit him up. Obviously, Tino, one love to you. He's put Flawless's Twitter in there, so you won't miss a beat. I've put his Twitch and his YouTube. I can't imagine you're not following. When this goes out on YouTube, obviously by the time it goes out, you'll be able to just simply at their YouTube account or his YouTube account, and then just sub and whatnot, people. So go support this thing and that. You lot stay safe. Obviously, Flawless, it's been a pleasure. You know, when you need me on your channel, shout me, my guy.
I'm gonna shout you, man. We definitely need to get this done much more regular. But yo, love for having me. Appreciate it, man. Like nothing but love for having me first and foremost. Secondly, big up everyone in the chat, yo, and keep doing your thing for a minute. And my Don was asking me, you was on with Peter and that, and he was saying he spoke to you, I think it was on Twitter. He asked you about, and he wanted me to ask you about your football manager thing. How's it going in that? I heard you were saying the fans were unhappy. I'm saying like that.
Hey man, I told the fans, you know what? They're on me. I told them it's a title challenge, and we were ninth, innit? And when did we finish? I think we got to 8th. But I bought Laturo Martinez and that. We're back now. But before anyone tries to run me out, let's remember, back-to-back Champions League qualification, 3 trophies in it. I won the English Super Cup. I have to gas it up, make the Community Shield sound better. FA Cup and the League Cup, man. Allow me. We'll be back, fans, man. Who told you to say that? Was it Tino?
Nah, it was my boy Peter. So he's American that he's on my channel. My dog Peter with it. So he be on the NBA streams. He also co-hosts the Chelsea show on the YouTube as well, and he's just always on the channel. And he was like, make sure you, because I mentioned that I was on here yesterday when I was doing when we was ending the last show. Last night, and I was like, I'm on Deluded channel. He's like, make sure you ask him about what's it called, his football manager saying, because he was like, you were onto the fans and that, and he said he sent you a message about on the sentiment thing, man, you gotta back the fans. The fans are always right and that.
I fuck with that fans is always right shit, man. I'm always right, bro.
I hear you, brother. I hear you at that. So I thought, let me ask him that. Let me ask for a large up, man. Love for having me. We definitely need to make this happen more often. 100%. We gonna pattern something,
man. I've always got all the time in the world for fantastic football chat. So yeah, man, just hit me up. We'll make it happen. People, obviously, you know where to follow him on his socials. They've been posted. In relation to me, I'm heading over to YouTube for 7:45, I believe. Oh shit! Yeah, you're back as well.
Runs that. Yeah, Twitch does that. You know what I'm saying? And Twitch will do that.
But as I was saying, Liverpool versus Everton versus Liverpool watch along over on YouTube. I've posted the comments. Make sure you're following Flawless on all his socials. I'm gonna have him back. I'm gonna be back on his well, I say back. I'll make my debut on his show.
Definitely,
when he
110%. You making your debut. We're gonna pattern it so it's correct though. We gotta make the debut correct, so it's gotta be on point and everything like that. We're gonna pattern it properly. 110%.
Come on, my guy, man. We'll make it happen. But on that, people, you lot stay safe. We're out, man. Safe.
Yeah.